incredible job growth, 312,000 jobs, and this really took people by surprise. This is a great number. I think it has a lot to do with the factories and with the companies that are moving back into the United States who have left, and now they're coming back to us instead of being in other countries. I can't tell you what that does to other countries, but I'm the president of this country. I do want people to remember that we've had a tremendous success, despite the fact that I'm in the midst of negotiating incredible trade deals for our country that should have been negotiated many years ago. We are doing very well in our negotiation with China. We pretty much concluded our negotiation with Canada, with Mexico. We have done the deal and signed the deal with South Korea, which a lot of people said was not going to happen, would be impossible. It's a good deal. It was a horrible deal. It's a good deal. I think a lot of this has to do with the fact, though, that already companies are moving back into our country that have left our country in some cases. In some cases, they're moving back. Beautiful to watch. 3.2% wage growth. That hasn't happened in so long for our country. That's an incredible thing. And I used to talk about wages going down, not going up, but going down for years, 19 years. And now they just went up 3.2%, and yet there's no inflation because other things are going down, like the price of your gasoline at the tank, and that doesn't happen by luck. I work hard on that. So a lot of good things are happening. Labor participation rate increased to 63.1. That's an incredible number also. The economy is very good. We have a massive trade negotiation going on with China. President Xi is very much involved. So am I. We're dealing at the highest levels, and we're doing very well. We're doing very well. In the meantime, we've taken in billions and billions of dollars in tariffs from China and from others. Our steel industry's come roaring back. That makes me very happy. I think we'll have to build a steel wall as opposed to a concrete wall, because we have steel companies again. There's something awfully nice about that sound. And one of the problems described to me as an example, your ports of entry. But we're going to make our ports of entry very powerful, very strong. I explained to him the problem is, though, we can have a wonderful port of entry, but you have 2,000 miles of border between the United States and Mexico. You'll see vast numbers of vehicles driving through the desert and entering where you don't have a very powerful fence or a wall. They're not going through where we have great Border Patrol officers and ICE officers and military. Now, I tell you, the military has done a fantastic job. They don't stop. They go right to the easiest part and the weakest part, sometimes out in desert, but you have miles and miles and miles of unprotected area. And you can see where they drive over. You even have people walking that trek, and that's a very dangerous trek. And they bring children, or even worse, they use children. You know, children are the biggest beneficiaries of what we want to do. Children are hurt more than anybody else. These coyotes, what they do with children, all because we have open borders, because they think they can get away with it. They don't come in through the port where we have a lot of protection. They come in through empty areas, vast spaces, empty areas. You don't even have a sign saying Mexico, U.S. There's no sign designating you have just entered the United States, just open space. They get off the road and they drive out into the desert and they come on, they make a left turn. Usually it's a left, not a right. Most of them come out because in San Diego and in areas of California, we just finished brand new walls, beautiful walls, steel walls. And they wanted them badly. They were asking us. That's why we did it there. I said, let's not do it in California. California always complains through their great governors. They're always complaining. I said, let's not do it. Let the governor ask us. But we did it anyway because they really needed it. They were having tremendous problems. So we built a brand new wall in San Diego, and it's working really well. You should go and look at it. It's amazing. It's incredible how well it works. But these coyotes and these human traffickers, they make a right turn before they get to the port of entry. They go as far as the wall is, or as far as the barricade is, and then they make a left. Welcome to the United States. So the only way you're going to stop that is by having a solid steel structure or concrete structure. Numbers are thrown around, 1.6, 2.1, 2.5. This is national security we're talking about. We're not talking about games. We're talking about national security. This should have been done by all of the presidents that preceded me, and they all know it. Some of them have told me that we should have done it. We're not playing games. We have to do it. I don't know what they're going to do, because they're not coming in through past the steel gates or the steel walls or the concrete walls. So now when they make that turn, they make it, and now all of a sudden they can't go any further, and they have to go back.
Go back. Go back.
We need border security. All of the border things that we'll be building will be done right here in the good old USA by steel companies that were practically out of business when I came into office as president, and now they're thriving. You look at what's going on in the steel industry, it's almost a miracle. It was a dead industry. We need steel for defense. We need steel for a lot of things, steel and aluminum. But those industries were in deep trouble. The steel industry was almost dead, and now it's a very vibrant industry. And we're negotiating very tough prices. We'll take a couple of questions, and I think I'll be even more proud if we can have great border security for the first time in really the history of our country. The southern border is a dangerous, horrible disaster, a major, powerful barrier. We want to save lives. We want children to be safe. The children are being decimated. And I'm not talking about necessarily children in our country. I'm talking about wonderful children that are coming up from other places. And we have to take care of those children also. We can't let them die on the way up. What's happening to women, it's horrible what's happening. If they know it's not going to take place because they can't get through because we have a great border wall or fence or barrier, they're not going to come up, and you're not going to have the problem. At the same time, they can apply to come into our country legally, like so many people have done. And we need people, Major. We have to have people because we have all these companies coming in. We need great people, but we want them to come in on a merit basis, and they have to come in on a merit basis. They can't come in the way they've been coming in for years. We have a ridiculous policy that we won't accept smart people. So call it politically correct or not, but we have to let these great, brilliant companies have the smartest people in the world. Yes, ma'am. The border is a much more dangerous problem. It's a much bigger problem. It's a problem of national security. It's a problem of terrorists. You know, I talk about human traffickers. I talk about drugs. I talk about gangs. But a lot of people don't say we have terrorists coming through the southern border because they find that's probably the easiest place to come through. They drive right in and they make a left. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So we're not going to do that. We won't be doing pieces. We won't be doing it in drips and drabs. We need border security. We have to get a structure built. I call it doing what you have to do for the benefit and for the safety of our country. And just a little statement on that. We've already built a lot of the wall. We've been working very, very hard. We've renovated a tremendous amount of wall. We've done a lot of miles of wall already. So we're not just starting off fresh, but we have large numbers of miles that we have to do. And we can't let gaps, because if you have gaps, those people are going to turn their vehicles, or the gangs, they're going to be coming in through those gaps. And we cannot let that happen.
Earlier this week, you repeated your claim that through the USMCA, Mexico will be paying for the wall. Can you describe in detail the specific mechanisms in the trade deal that will
you're going to be seeing it very soon. We made a new deal, a new trade deal. NAFTA left our country dry. NAFTA was a disaster. And now we have a deal that's great for our country. And by the way, good for Mexico, good for Canada also. As you know, it's the three countries. We will be taking in billions and billions of dollars more money. Billions and billions of dollars a year more money.
So why not
and
use
that
that
is
for the wall,
paying,
though?
excuse me, because I didn't have to. That is paying for the wall. Many, many times over. In fact, what we save on the USMCA, the new trade deal we have with Mexico and Canada, what we save on that just with Mexico will pay for the wall many times over just in a period of a year, 2 years, and 3 years. So I view that as absolutely Mexico is paying for the wall.
You ran your campaign promising supporters that Mexico is going to pay for the
here
wall
we
and that
go
the wall
again.
was going to be made of concrete. You just said earlier that the wall could be made of steel, and right now our government is shut down over a demand from your administration that the American taxpayer pay for the wall. So how can you say you're not failing on that promise to your supporters?
Very nice question, so beautifully asked, even though I just answered it.
You didn't
Look,
answer.
let me
The
just tell you,
USMCA
excuse me,
has not even
excuse
passed
me,
Congress
excuse me,
yet,
are you
sir.
ready? Are you ready? I just told you that we just made a trade deal, and we will take in billions and billions,
Billions and billions.
billions and billions of dollars, far more than the cost of the wall. The wall is peanuts compared to what the value of this trade deal is to the United States. As far as concrete, I said I was going to build a wall. I never said, I'm going to build a concrete. I said I'm going to build a wall.
You said
Just so
concrete.
you don't, because I know you're not into the construction business, you don't understand something. We now have a great steel business that's rebuilt in the United States. Steel is stronger than concrete. Steel is stronger than concrete. Steel
Is stronger than concrete.
stronger than concrete. If I build this wall or fence or anything the Democrats need to call it, because I'm not into names, I'm into production. I'm into something that works. If I build a steel wall rather than a concrete wall, it will actually be stronger
Stronger.
than a concrete. Steel is stronger than concrete, okay? In case you could check it out. Listen, if I build a wall and the wall is made out of steel
Steel.
instead of concrete, I think people will like that. And here's the other good thing. I'll have it done by the United States Steel Corporation, by companies in our country that are now powerful, great companies again. And they become powerful over the last 2 years because of me and because of our trade policies. So if I have a steel wall, or you could call it a steel fence, but it'll be more powerful than any of the concrete walls that we're talking about. It's possible that it will look better. And one of the things, I think you have seen this, that's very important for us, very, very important, in speaking to Border Patrol, ICE, and actually local law enforcement, and even military, they want to be able to see through it. You can't really see through a concrete wall. They want to be able to see who's on the other side of the wall. Because if they're here and you have about a 12-inch concrete wall and you have people on the other side, but you can't see what's over there, it's very dangerous. They want to be able to see through the wall. A see-through wall made out of steel is far stronger than a concrete wall. So I'm very happy with it. It actually will be a more powerful wall, and it will be a more beautiful wall than having a concrete wall. Well, the safety net is going to be having a strong border because we're going to be safe. A wall or a fence. Okay? Thank you. Good question. It's a good question. Please go ahead. Brand new walls, beautiful walls, steel walls. And they wanted them badly. They were asking us. That's why we did it there. I said, let's not do it in California. California always complains through their great governors. They're always complaining. I said, let's not do it. Let the governor ask us. But we did it anyway because they really needed it. They were having tremendous problems. So we built a brand new wall in San Diego, and it's working really well. You should go and look at it. It's amazing. Steel is stronger than concrete.